gonna be safe and sound tonight.
Hello, and this is a really fun idea. This is creating a debt jubilee using UBI and hyperinflation. Now, hyperinflation is it's all shades of gray, right? It's a scale. So this is the mathematics to determine the slope per month of increasing UBI over given months. And then this is your starting amount for everyone. And this is the number of Americans over the age of 18. So minors would not get this money, unfortunately. You could change it so that minors do. All of this is adjustable. You have your billions printed, your starting money supply, and this is your percent monthly increase in the money supply. Total cumulative increase, and this is the inflation adjusted UBI amount over time. So we can just look at these numbers. This is just a start, an example that I gave. At month 16, you are getting $3,400 a month, printing $850 billion a month. The money supply has went up $6 trillion over the course of this time. And here, let me see if I could just... No. Anyway, could do this. Look at this in real time. Total increase of 6.7 trillion. Your monthly increase is at 3.3. Total increase 37%. So, let's see. Starting amount, you could change this to 200, and then maybe the slope is 250, something like that. Now you're at 3,900 at the bottom, 40%. Let's say you wanted to be conservative. You start at 100, and then you do 100. This is extremely conservative. You're at 1,600 a month, and then it would stop. People would probably be pissed when it stops. But this is a temporary situation to reduce the debt load. So people can pay down their mortgage, they can pay off their student loans, they can pay off their car, they can put the money into savings if they choose to put the money into savings. They can invest in solar panels. This would actually have a very positive effect on the overall economy, except for people who hold debt. But that's mostly like global banks. That's mostly the government. That's mostly normal people don't own debt. Most people aren't sitting on piles of cash. So this is really only hurting these giant financial institutions that print all of the money anyway. So fuck them. So this is quantitative easing, quite literally. But it's quantitative easing for the people. It's quantitative easing for the general public instead of the top 0.01%. And unfortunately, this has to be a temporary measure because all of this inflation will really destabilize the economy and destabilize commodities and destabilize trade. So even though it's a good thing for the economy, it has to be a temporary measure. And this monthly is a year and a half. I could add 2 more months to make it a year and a half. I just like, it's a nice round number. So let's see. Gotta move this. Let me just do this on the fly in real time. Oh wow, it even does that there. Look at that in real time. Excel is so nice. So, oops, misclicked. Look at that, now it's a year and a half. So yeah, we have our, why is it not, okay. It wouldn't let me click. Anyway, moving on, 13,000 for the total of the debt jubilee now with this. Although my summation algorithm has to change, 17,000. Here we go. It's nice and updated. So really interesting thought exercise here, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm just gonna, I think the 100,000 might be a little too high. The 180 is definitely high. We don't want to really go crazy here. So we might do 200 to start, and then a slope of, that was 18,000. We'll do a slope of like maybe 250. This is the middle ground here between the 17,000 and the 95,000. You're only looking at an increase of the money supply of 50%, which isn't that crazy, I don't think. $10 trillion over a year and a half is less than the revenue of the entire government. So the government makes $12 trillion in a year and a half worth of tax revenue. So this is less than what the government takes in taxes, honestly. Let's see, if you do just a little lower, 35. This is not too bad. I think this would be a good spot, because this is one year's average income for a lot of people, for a lot of working class people. Over a year and a half, I think that would be this would be pretty fair. Maybe the 30 to 50,000 range, I think, might be good. So yeah, just this is all possible. I think it's important for everyone to remember that this is very possible. It's within the realm of reason. So is the Articles of Syndication. If you don't know what that is, I'll leave it in the video description. But it is a compromise between capitalism and communism using contract law, and it maintains the free enterprise system, which is very fascinating. So I'll leave that in the video description as well. I think next I'm going to do the video on the global version, but this one would empower countries based on their GDP. So the countries with the lowest GDP get the most, and the countries with the highest GDP get the least. So that one will be a little bit more controversial, but even more, I don't want to say destabilizing, but even more radical, maybe would be a word for it, in terms of wealth redistribution from rich countries to poor countries. Now, your house is not being stolen in a rich country. It's not like people are stealing your house, stealing your car, like destroying industry or anything in rich countries. It's just it's a redistribution of the financial system, a redistribution of the global financial system is what we're talking about. So real wealth, like cars and houses and industry, is not being reduced. It is just the monetary social construct which is changing. And I think that's what really needs a bit of a readjustment within the Great Reset, as the World Economic Forum talks about. But they are really, they're very confused, I think. I think they're very confused. They will always want to change the law, and I don't know. I don't know if changing the law is always a dangerous thing. This is like less dangerous, I think, especially if it's temporary. Especially if it's only for like 12 to 18 months. And if you keep this number below 50,000. This is far less dangerous than like some socialist revolution. Or even just the status quo. Is really why we're having this discussion to begin with, right? So this would be really interesting. This would help people establish little communes if they wanted with all this money, $34,000 a person. You could build version 6 for $20,000 a person. So just think about what would be possible with this wealth redistribution. And right now, all the stimulus we get goes to corporations. It goes to the upper middle class. It goes to all this nonsense. This is the way to do stimulus. This is the way to do quantitative easing. This is the way to properly administer MMT, modern monetary theory. So I don't want to talk your ear off for too long, so I think I'm going to wrap this up. But if you really enjoyed this video, if you really like the idea of a debt jubilee, the Bible says we should have one every 40 years. That is according to biblical law. So that's where I got this whole idea, is the Jubilee. Every 40 years, all debt is canceled. It's like once per lifetime. And yes, that's destabilizing to the banking system, but at the same time, compound interest, if you're not familiar with this concept, maybe I should make a video on that actually. Compound interest is a very subtle and sinister thing, and it kind of like is this mathematical beast that festers and like underneath society, which is debt that grows and grows and grows, and interest that grows and grows and grows. And I think, and this system, this temporary hyperinflation I guess is a strong word, temporary inflation reduces that beast. It weakens the beast of compound interest and debt slavery. So, but the price you pay is a destabilization in pricing, a destabilization in commodities, and a destabilization in trade, which is why it's important to have it be temporary. But I'm starting to repeat myself. If this is your first encounter with the idea of Jubilee, I hope you like it. I hope it's supposed to be like forgiveness, debt forgiveness, right? It's a very biblical idea. It's a very biblical concept to forgive the people who owe you money, to forgive debts, is a very powerful idea that a lot of people, especially in the modern era, people are not comfortable with. And I guess, selfishness, right? If you have your entire life savings, your entire net worth invested in debt, then yeah, I could see why you're not comfortable with it. But this is on a percentage basis. This is not complete forgiveness. This is only, if you look at the inflation, this is only a 30%. This would be from 3,600 to about 24-ish. So this is a 30% debt forgiveness. I should add a little line here, but anyway, too late. 30% debt forgiveness in this scenario of 34,000. So with 100,000, I think you had a little over 50% debt forgiveness. So very interesting. Anything is possible with mathematics. Mathematics makes all things possible, and communication and coordination and a little bit of leadership, right? I think that's what leadership, creativity, mathematics. This is what the world is really missing today. Communication, very precise communication, is what we're all missing. We all desperately need. Maybe we desperately need a Jubilee too. So if you liked this video, go ahead and share it with your friends. Spread it around. Thank you, and have a nice day.
It's over. Nobody wins.
If you want to see a new and better world come to fruition, as I do, then like, share, and subscribe. You can find an incredible amount of math, knowledge, and 3D renders by clicking on the channel name. And remember, we need you to help spread this vision across the internet for all to see and become familiar with. Let us build this new world together.